Good day everyone. I am Alvin Ortiz presenting our output called DigiAnalyzer that contains features such as counting the digits, counting the even digits, counting the odd digits, showing the most occurring number, and searching a digit within the user's entered set of numbers. The first part of our presentation will be discussed by Ms. Sexionna.
Hello, I am Reynalin Sexionna, and I will going to discuss about the aspects of the program in HTML. So, let's talk about the left area. The left area are stated within the code the sec input. It is the area that facilitates and supports all the program functions as it contains the methods through which the user will enter the digits they desire to sort, facilitated by the input tag as well as the button tags that will trigger the functions of the code.
Hello, I'm Rabano, Trisha Ann, and I'm going to discuss the right area, or as stated within the code, the sec output area. It's the area that facilitates the output of all the program functions. It is a set of articles, tags, each containing a p tag to print out the output, generated by the functions within the code, which will be discussed later on.
I'm Cecilia May E, Navarro, and now I will discuss the brief animations and color choice. This section is not at all that important to the functions of the web page. We will only go over it briefly. Brief clicking and hovering animations were implemented to let the user know what they can interact with within the page and to let them know what part they are interacting with. Smart color choices were also picked within our decided color palette as to keep things aesthetically pleasing and to let the user know when they can interacting with the page through subtle darkening, brightening, or enlarging of the web page's aspects.
Okay, I will discuss count all digit function. After going to verifications, either the user's input are valid, the user's input is being separated, and count one by one. In the input count function, which will be printed informing the users as how many digits they input. The input count function will be discussed later on along with miscellaneous function of the code.
Hello guys, my name is Peñafiel, and I will be the one who's discussing the count all even digit function. In the count all even digit function, once the variable passes into the verification stage, the user input will be casted onto the temporary variable. This temporary variable will be dissected into digit by digit, starting from the rightmost through the modulus method. It is then verified whether it's even or odd, in which case our counter is incremented, and finally, our temporary variable is then updated to be one digit less through simple division. And then our count even digit will be printed on each digit appropriate p tag. That's all for me, and thank you for watching.
Hello, my name is Layog, and I'm on the JavaScript function called count all odd digits function. So let's begin. Similar in function to the previous even digit display function, this function creates a temporary variable to hold the user's input. Is it then dissected once again through the previously mentioned method with each digit dissected, tested, and wherever they are odd or not. Each odd digit instance is counted and the value of the temporary variable is updated to represent the current available digits to be checked. With this whole process finished up by putting the output.
Hello again. I am Alvin Ortiz, and next up would be the most occurring number function. The most occurring number function will loop through the user's input one by one after validation. Compare the looping number from the user's input one by one, then check how many times it appears. If the next looping number appeared more than the previous number, replace the most occurring number. If the most occurring number appeared the same amount of times as the others, display that there's no most occurring number. After looping a number of times, to avoid multiple printing of the same number that occurred the most, the variable's most occurring num temp will be compared to the most occurring num variable. If they both have the same value regardless of data type, the most secure numtemp will not go through counting process because the said same number is already counted. Here's the checking. So here's a quick run through. If there are no most securing digit, it will display there's no most securing number. If there are single digit that most secured, then it will display what digit it is and how many times it appeared. So if there's 2, then there's no. Another one, no. If there's 1, maybe 2, appeared 4 times. That's it. Next would be the search digit function.
Thank you, Ermina J. I'm going to talk about the find a digit function of our program. Once the user initial input for the input section is verified to be valid, a prompt is presented wherein the values are stored in a temporary variable for later use. The prompt answer is then verified whether it is valid, in which case the function proceeds to its core parts. Prior to all of these, a variable is initialized to contain the return value of input count, as this integral in identifying the exact position of the digit being searched. Another integral variable is the search non-position variable, as it continuously prepended to contain the print message to be displayed at the end of the function. Along all of these are other integral variables that are self-explanatory, which we won't go into deeper, as the aforementioned 2 are the most important ones of them all.
Hello everyone. Continuing with the function aspect, the user's initial input is dissected digit by digit, and starting at the end, checking whether the user's input in the prompt is equals to the digit being searched. With each iteration of the while loop, decrementing the value contained within the variable that holds the return value of the input count, as this variable will always contain the position of the current digit being checked. And should the if statements return true, the location of the search digit is recorded through the aforementioned method, and it's continuously prepended to show the location of the search digit within the inputted digit in ascending order.
I'm Rosales, Luiz, Gabriel, and I'm here to talk about the miscellaneous functions of our program. Majority of our program's functionality lies on the back of 3 integral functions, being the input count, reset all, and is valid input functions, which all provide integral values, variables, and features needed by each of our program's functions. Starting off with the input count function, this function takes the inputted value of the user within the provided text input and counts out each individual digit through a modulus division method, whilst reducing the digit count through normal division. This ensures that every instance of a digit that the user inputted will be counted, which is information that is very integral to most of the program's functions. Following this is the reset all function, which, as the name implies, resets all the input and output fields of the program, priming it for the next user inputs and interactions. Last, following this, is the isValid input function. This function verifies if the user's input is valid for the program specifications through an if-else-if statement that checks whether the user inputted non-number values, which is invalid, digit counted exceeds the limit, which is 12, which is also invalid, or no inputs, which is obviously invalid. Should the user input fall under any of these conditions, then an appropriate error alert is presented. Otherwise, it will return a true value, greenlighting the features of every function presented in the program, allowing them to do what they are supposed to do.